Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. Atlanta United faced their sternest test yet. What do I mean? We get into all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. And Atlanta United drew Inter Miami 2-2 at the Benz in a barn burner. Eventually it became one, but yeah, it is definitely something that we will, of course, get into shortly. We'll have the match preview as well for New York Red Bulls later on in this episode. But before we get into all of it, major shouts out to our Patreon members, Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, and Nick. But yes, you guys are legends. We love you for your loyalty. Thank you so much. But yeah, let's get into the match preview match review. And yeah, so getting way ahead of myself here. But yeah, Inter Miami. Yeah, so they came in. Well, Messi, Suarez, and Jordi Alba did not start, and yeah, Julian Gressel did. Tata Martino started it in the stands, and so yeah, very much in terms of an A team, it wasn't Inter Miami's A team, that's for sure. But yeah, they definitely they pushed us a little bit in the first half in a somewhat listless first half where we weren't really creating I think the chances that we really could have, maybe against a kind of lesser side, in the sense that, it was their B squad, even though it was first against, 10th, but still, at home, it kind of felt like, okay, well, if you don't have the Barcelona Galacticos in a sense, well, yeah, maybe at the very least, this is a better chance. And yeah, we kind of got into the area, but we were not able to fashion the chances. And yeah, 2 shots, 0 on goal. Pretty freaking anemic. And just kind of reminded one of the Nashville match a little bit again. And yeah, people were a little bit restless. Not the best showing. They opened up the full bowl, and it just really wasn't, much to say for any of that. I mean, it wasn't full at any by any measure. Yeah, you had, I think they announced it was something like 60,000 plus, and yeah, it didn't look like that at all. Let's just be absolutely real. It's paid attendance versus actual through the turnstiles attendance. But the second half became a different story. But let's get your kind of initial thoughts on that first half, where, yeah, I mean, we started a little bit of a different look in midfield with Muyumba instead of Fortune, and everyone who might have been injured kind of was able to come in, except for Sean De Silva, of course. But yeah, Miranchuk on the right a little bit more so, and yeah, a slightly different look.
Yeah, it was interesting. Just to go over the attendance for a second, you'd think that Messi coming to town would fill out the entirety of the stadium. That was a little surprising to me, but I guess people are a little burned from last time when we advertised him and he didn't show up. So perhaps some people didn't go because they didn't see it as a guaranteed time of seeing Messi. Turns out he actually came this time. And not only that, but he played, and we can kind of get into what the heck were they thinking about doing that, because I still have no idea why they came and played, but they did. Yeah. As for the first half, yeah, it was listless, as you said. We were toothless in the attack. We were really struggling to get anything going, and it wasn't so much so that Miami was just so good at stymieing our pressure. It's just that we and Mike Conti and the broadcasting crew all said the same thing. we look like a team with zero chemistry in the attack, and that's kind of the case, and it's a little bit to be expected considering Miranchuk he's the operator and he's so new, doesn't really know his teammates yet. There should be a little bit more cohesion with players like Saba and Rios by now, but they just still aren't. So that can be a little frustrating. But we were able to hold them to essentially one goal. And that goal, which was unfortunately not really indicative of Miami's, efforts. It was just so much that it was an unfortunate deflection of Dax McCarty trying to block a pass, which was not gonna go to where it ended up going due to the deflection. It ended up going right to the foot of the guy wide open, and the entirety of goal right in front of him with no one to stop him and all day to aim. It was extremely unfortunate because we had held on and we were doing decently the whole time. Miami in the first half did not have above 1 XG in the first half, so this was a gift to them. And what did we say on the match preview for this game coming into this? Do not give Miami any gifts. They don't need them. They will find a way to score worldies on their own. They don't need any help. So if we were going to get a result out of this, we cannot give them gifts. Turns out we gave them basically 2, and we still got a result out of it. And yeah, we'll get into it, and I don't understand how and why, but that's a draw, and we are still undefeated against Miami somehow.
Right, exactly. We're probably one of very few to be able to say that this year, especially, there's still league leaders, supporter shield leaders, but yeah, your cat also agrees. Yeah, we can hear him a little bit, so sorry for people's ears if you hear a little bit of a cat meowing, but it's also very adorable. So if you have a problem with that, I mean, that sucks for your if you hate cats, I guess. But
he is being an annoying cat right now, so there's that.
Yeah, to be fair. But yeah, and speaking of kind of giving goals to young guns, David Ruiz, a 20-year-old midfielder who scored that first goal for them, and so just something that we do. We gift young kids goals against us, and annoying. It's very annoying, but yeah, and so the first half kind of went that way. Also, yeah, there was a Julian Gressel rocket that Brakuzan had to put a paw on. It was scorched and looked like kind of a shot cross type of one, but I think he was aiming for goal, and yeah, definitely would not have liked to seen that. Obviously, I think he probably would have not celebrated, but still, I think he probably would have stuck that in there, and maybe stuck some fingers maybe to the sky, meaning for Carlos Bocanegra maybe, but who knows? Who knows? I speculate, but yeah. So, 1-0 into the half, we come out of the half where, yeah, Saba, he was able to, kind of pick up where he left off against Inter Miami. He loves
do you want to talk about how long Miami took to come out?
Yeah. I mean, it took a little bit of time, like most teams do. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the tunnel is like over on that side, but it's just par for the course now. It's just like, yeah,
I mean, Messi and Argentina and these teams always do this.
Yeah,
it just bizarre. Seems like a thing with him.
It's super bizarre, but either way, they eventually came out, and yeah, even with this, it was like Messi and co. They were warming up on the sidelines. Probably some of the loudest cheers to start of the night. But then, yeah, it got really raucous after that, especially after he came on. But first, the Saba goal. And, I mean, Saba, I mean, this goal, it kind of starts with a bit of so much is happening. So much is happening. But there is, you know, Amador, he's working. He's definitely, from the defensive standpoint, you know, doing everything he can to try to keep Miami out of the back of the net. But there is a counterattack essentially by Edwin Mosquera, who had come on at that point. And yeah, you know, he's charging in on goal. He's in behind. He is one-on-one with the keeper, and he hits it right at him, unfortunately. But it cycles back around Pedro Amador. He is able to assist Saba's goal, where, yeah, Saba's streaking across. He heads it, and it's right beneath and between the legs of Drake Callender. Yes, love it, because yeah, he you know, Callender, like, he seems like a good shot stopper maybe in penalty shootouts, but you know, I think maybe in the run of play, whatever it is, we can get the best of him. And you know, that's been quite apparent, you know, kind of in our 2 games against them. But yeah, you know, Saba, he makes a good run, and Amador, who was on a lot of the set pieces, you know, from the left side and from centrally as well. Kind of a surprise to me, but you know, his integration into the squad seems like his left foot, you know, a little bit of a wand, and you know, definitely much needed, especially from a fullback. I mean, yeah, essentially right now both our fullbacks take our some of our set pieces. Super interesting, but you know, it is what it is. That can be a good thing and a bad thing, but I think Miranchuk probably will, you know, kind of also, once he gets more integrated, probably you know, take more of the reins as well. But he did take some corners. But yeah, Saba's goal, you know, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, just after he scored, when he scores, he gets so pumped up. I love it. It gets the team energized, gets the crowd into it. Him like slapping his forehead, like, I love that, you know, him getting all fired up. Yeah, it was great. Kind of energy boost to the team and the environment. Everyone went crazy. That was fantastic. And it's just such a good way to get things, you know, back on track, feeling like we're still in this game. Saba, I mean, and Amador, because Amador doesn't know any better. He doesn't know about Atlanta's, you know, grief and not being able to come back in situations. So he's like, you know, screw that. I'm just going to put it on a dime, and someone hopefully is there. And Saba was, because these 2 players, you know, there's others that, you know, inconsistently do very well for the team sometimes. But these guys consistently, like, put it in for the team. And Amador's pass, Saba's header, that these 2 guys, I mean, if they can continuously do this, that would be great. You'd hope that would be like, you know, more winger and striker type of relationship. But if you want to do fullback and winger, that's fine by me, as long as the goals come. And I mean, it's just, again, it's Saba taking this game by the scruff. Amador not knowing any better that, you know, we're a team that's struggling. He doesn't know that, I guess. He's just like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And Saba put it in. And, you know, that's something that I had trouble seeing where the goals were gonna come from this game. And I didn't see it coming from an Amador cross and a Saba header. Maybe a Daniel Rios could get on the end of that. Perhaps Amador could do that, but I just
not
didn't
on the bingo
see
card.
it. Yeah, so I was just like, these guys, to me, this seemed atypical. It was them going, I'm taking the game by the scruff, and I'm gonna, you know, grab by the horns and make something of it. And they did. And that is just what we haven't had for a while, for whatever reason. Saba, though, like I said, consistently will be able to, you know, he at least tries every game to do this. And man, there's a large likelihood you know, next year when they come out with the new primary jersey, that I'm going with a Lobjanidze jersey, because this guy, he has put it out there for this team, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, everything. Like, this guy loves the club and is a true Atlanta United player for sure. You know, he may be a little bit less consistent than we'd like him to be, but he absolutely tries every game. And that's when you have such a difficult season like you have with this one, that's the least you can do, and he's absolutely doing it every time. So really appreciate him for that. So he deserved that goal. Wish he could have gotten another one. He was close a few times. He's really, you know, kind of almost, I don't know what it is with him in Miami. It's like and I mean, it's the team too, and to a degree, they just get up for the challenge, this big game, right? And it's exciting. It lends for a really exciting match. I mean, you gotta circle the Miami-Atlanta matches next season and make sure you get to these, because these have been ridiculous, away and home. It's been nuts.
Yeah. And it's that. I mean, they played to the occasion, and that unfortunately is not always the best thing. It can get a little emotional in that sense, as I kind of mentioned during our post-match reactions. But yeah, I mean, as well as you know, just to mention, you know, you getting Saba on the back of a kit. Well, I mean, it would be Saba. It wouldn't be Lapsanice. So, because you know, obviously he does have that, you know, as the back of his kit. But yeah,
I can
for
get
sure.
whatever I want on the back of the kit.
You can, yes, indeed you can. But but it is, yeah, you know, he goes by Saba. So, you know, maybe because it's like yeah, Dele Alli. You know, he didn't like his last name. He just went with Dele. So, you know, it's one of those things. Maybe, yeah, Saba just wants to be Madonna, and you know, maybe next year he just eschews Lapsanice completely, and then you know,
what's the guy from Ted Lasso, like Zaba? It's just,
yeah, Zaba,
you know,
exactly.
It's just that.
But anyway, yeah, back on track here, and so. Yeah, unfortunately, Miami, they were able to get their second very shortly after that from a free kick. And, yeah, you know, Lionel Messi wasn't even on yet, so it was like, okay, well, a little bit of a sigh of relief. Okay, right? Yeah, you know, everything should be fine. Yeah, no big deal. No, it wasn't the case. Yeah, whatever wall we set up, very, very porous. And, yeah, it seemed to go right through it. And yeah, it kind of caught Guzan off guard. Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of right in the middle of the wall, and somehow it snuck through. I don't understand. I mean, it's something that, yeah, you know, this is a goal that was preventable. I feel like the first goal just very unlucky, and you know, they even though they pretty much were kind of running the game a little bit from possession, they still kind of smashed and grabbed their goals, which, you know, is kind of odd. And then Messi came on, and to a raucous applause, which I was trying to boo at the same time. I don't hate Messi, but I don't appreciate that in the stadium. When, you know, it's an opposing player. Yes, he is the GOAT, but, I mean, just... you don't have to cheer for him, you know, like he might be about to kill us, and you know, that's I don't think we should make him feel welcome by any means in that sense, but yeah, he did. He got some touches. It was you know, a lot of I think kind of keeping it going, recycling the ball, and you know, trying to play kind of on our left side, or on their left side, on our right side. And yeah, there were some moments in the box where if we didn't intervene, there might have been a third goal. But you know, I think it definitely, like I mentioned on the post-match reactions, it energized the crowd. It really made the team kind of feel that energy too. And you know, when we made our subs with Mascara and also with Tiare, I mean, we were just pumping it long at that point. Route 1, nothing fancy about it. And yeah, it was, yeah, if we had some space, we were going to go long. And that we did. And yeah, there were definitely some moments where even Tiare, you know, he was able to get in on their left side, but just kind of can't get the ball out of his feet a little bit. Mosquera, of course, you know, kind of multiple times, either getting to the right wing almost to the edge of their box or to the byline. It was just yeah, a barrage. And Suarez and Messi, for me, it was a weird one. It was a weird one for them to you know, be played when they were up. I mean, yeah, maybe they could have poured it on or something, but yeah, the space in between from midfield, from their defenders to the forwards, acres, and it allowed us to pretty much dictate everything from pretty much when Suarez came on, because two guys that just really did not want to run, it helped us immensely. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the you know, when Messi and Suarez came on?
Yeah, I have a lot of topics right here. You touched on a few things. The first being, you know, the fans in the stadium kind of cheering for Messi. Interestingly enough, I saw a lot of film of the, you know, people in the stands with Messi jerseys, Miami jerseys, Argentina jerseys. They were, you know, a lot of them appeared to me to be also like Atlanta fans. They, you know, perhaps they decided to wear their Argentina jersey that day instead of their Atlanta jersey, because it almost seemed like everyone was just happy and having a party there. You know, like when we scored, the camera would pan to Miami guys in Miami kits in the stands celebrating. In Argentina jerseys, and they're celebrating. They're just having a good time. And
or
like,
Inter Miami kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, there's at least one time I saw an Inter Miami guy like literally cheering for our goal. Like it was, I mean, maybe they're just celebrating a goal derby, you know, just having a good old time. And that's kind of what it felt like to a degree. So, you know, you get to see the best player. You get to see, you know, your hometown club go toe to toe with them. It was just an exciting overall great experience. So, you know, perhaps that's, you know, a little bit
it was probably win-win for them.
A bit of the sting out of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's that. Another thing was, so one of the things was our Route 1 effectiveness. Where did that come from? Where did that start? We talked about it on the post-game live stream. To me, it started with Brad Guzan. And what did he do? Every time he got the ball, and it was his, you know, is his opportunity to start a play, he went fast and direct and right down, like all the way down. And that, what did that communicate to the team? Communicated, everyone, we're going, attack, 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 forward, throw everything, because they had the energy, the momentum, everything. And Miami was reeling in the second half. They were pinned for a lot of the game. They were, you know, and like you pointed out, the fact that Messi and Suarez, and they didn't have the metronome of Busquets in the middle, like these two guys just wouldn't track back for any defensive work. And so what that left was this cavernous hole in the midfield where Brad Guzan could just drop the ball there, like almost immediately to Schleich and Miomba, and they would just be able to go. Sometimes even to Tiare as going even further. So like it was great to see Brad Guzan basically dictating the confidence and the energy, being an energy leader in this case, because, you know, he can't yell to everyone and he can't, you know, command everything, like, but this way he showed through his play, his distribution, what the intent of the team was in the second half. And I really, really liked seeing that, because it really sent ripples through the entirety, like waves of momentum through the entirety of the field for us. So that's another point. And then the next point was that you talk about, you know, why did Miami play? You know, maybe they're, you know, you speculated maybe Tata Martino's throwing us a bone, you know, Atlanta a bone, like, oh, you guys were so good to, I'll let you see Messi and Suarez. I'll let you see them. You know, you all came here to see them and to watch your team or whatever. So maybe I'll, you know, give them a couple minutes. Because outside of that, it just doesn't make any sense for Miami to play these guys. They are clearing away the number one team right now. They've already locked a playoff slot. Messi has had like this would have been his third game in like 7 days. Last game he played was 90 minutes. and like they were already winning, and this is turf, an away game that they didn't need to win. And yet, they played them anyway with the chance of injuring their star players going into the playoffs, essentially, making that run. Like, I just was like, this is a monumentally bad decision to have them play, unless, like, Messi was just like, listen, man, I just love soccer. I just want to play. Let me play. I'm good. Let me play.
And maybe he felt like he needs some minutes, you know, because he has been pretty much, you know, on the sidelines for 2 months. Who knows? Either way, you know, it worked out for us immensely. And in terms of, you know, Valentino and kind of that strategy later on, I mean, yeah, he did speak about it afterward. And you have that quote. Yeah, if you can, you know, speak to that or find that quote anyway.
Yeah, I'm just going to paraphrase it because I don't remember the quote. But essentially, yeah, Rob was saying that because we had speculated about, you know, who was going to start up top in the episode earlier in the week.
I preferred TRA, yeah.
And I said Rios, and it happened to be Rios, and Rob said the reasoning behind that was because he wanted to kind of have the team tire out Miami through like 60 or so minutes, and then have his fast, speedy guys come on, which he is putting TRA in that class, and then have TRA Mascara come on and run at tired legs and put in the dagger. So was it his strategy? Was it like that? Was it, you know, hindsight is 2020? Is he taking credit for it? Is, you know,
it's, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll believe him, but, you know, it is one of those things that it seems a little bit convenient, maybe in a sense, too, when you kind of get the results. I mean, and I'm not calling him a liar, but it is, yeah, it's like, you know, there is a little bit of a, like, okay, well, I think, you know, TRA, in terms of from the off, to counter early, to start off the match well, would have been the more prudent move, instead of possibly going down and, you know, not having the chance to win, because our record when we go down first is anemic and terrible. Like, we do not win. Like, yeah, we might draw, but we do not win those matches that we go down early. And so, you know, I feel like I still hold some umbrage in maybe not going for it from minute one, because that's kind of been the issue, is that, yeah, you know, versus Nashville as well, we start off super slow and we don't give energy. I mean, yeah, it's just something that has been symptomatic throughout the season. But yeah, he did speak about, well, you know what, actually, let's get into that second goal, you know, because we haven't talked about it at all. And you know, it was a goal line stop, a kind of double save in a sense. One first time from Brad Guzan, who goes down well quickly, and then Amador off of the line, and it starts pretty much the counter. And yeah, Lennon, he's able to lay it off to Miranchuk, who off that right side, he gets just enough space. He curls it. It is completely out of the reach of Drake Callender and unstoppable into the top right corner. And it's incredible. It is, yeah, as well struck as you can imagine. And yeah, what a goal. And yeah, I think for me, you know, like, what a debut goal for, not debut, but like for this to be his first goal in MLS. I mean, that's how you introduce yourself for Miranchuk. And yeah, I mean, you know, as far as the hype in this, you know, just everywhere in the entire stadium after that, it was about as loud as I think it's been. And yeah, you know, you just saw Atlanta United pushing for that third, and the ref blowing the whistle early when, yeah, okay, we went backwards in the final whistle pretty much right before that. But man, yeah, it really is a we ran out of time versus, you know, yeah, you know, if we had played like that the entire 90, which is nearly impossible, you can't do that. That's you know, that's expending a ton of energy, but it is also this. It's like it reminded me, and I said this on the post-match live reactions, that it reminded me of 2022, 2023 when we would start games off poorly and then always try to find a way to get back into the match or win the match, especially early on in those seasons, where not sustainable, but exciting, sure, but maddening also, yes. So definitely, we're just that type of team that does this. At least that's if we have one identity, it's that we do not start off matches well, but we do try, especially at the bends, to make up for lost time. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Valentino and Guzan, they were saying at the end of the match that about the effort, about the standard. Well, Valentino, he said, that's what I told the team at the end there, though, is that this is the standard that we are talking about. The way we played that game at the end, maybe not from a tactical standpoint, because it became so open, not exactly the type of soccer we want to play, but in terms of work rate, commitment to trying to win the game, that is what I'm talking about. And that's every day at training, every single behavior is over a consistent period of time, and then that gets you far. Guzan also, he was unhappy with the result, despite the draw. He said, with as many chances as we had, we should have had 3 points. There's points on the table, and we gotta take them. Thoughts on everything above?
Yeah, I mean, our XG was around like 2, so I mean, I don't know if we deserved more than 2 necessarily. I mean, outside of Amador's heroics, I mean, Miami didn't really deserve more than perhaps 3, because like Amador just stopped them. He just, with his body, was just there and stopped Suarez, which should not happen. Suarez should score that 9 out of 10 times, and this just happened to be the 10th time that it just didn't work. So that was amazing, and obviously, like you hinted at, it triggered the second goal from us with Miranchuk, which was an incredible display from a team standpoint. I mean, you love that momentum switch, right? It's like an incredible defensive feat, where we almost feel like we get lucky, and then you use that momentum to drive forward and you score a goal, and Miami's heads just go, oh man. I mean, I know being on the receiving side of it, it hurts so much. So that was good, seeing that we could take advantage of that. For Brad Guzan's comments about that, I don't know if we deserve more than 2, but we definitely felt like we were on the verge of starting to get a 3rd one, and I think if the game continued like you hinted at, we would have probably scored one in short order, increasing the XG significantly, obviously making up for a terrible XG in the first half, which was like less than 0.5, and some stats had it as like 0.11, which is really bad. So you can be frustrated with the result because this is one of those draws that feels like a win, and you felt like the win was right around the corner. But I still think, and I said this on the show, like this feels like a win for me. Like this is gravy. Like, yeah, we need the 3 points, but basically almost every team in MLS, they write off their games against Miami as likely a loss.
Right.
And we just don't have to do that. That's right. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's good perspective because, most teams would bite your hand off for 4 points against Inter Miami. But it is also kind of how far we've come that we have to celebrate this draw. It is, it's twofold. There's this kind of divisive feeling about this match for sure. And it's just, ultimately it was good entertainment. I have my qualms about how we can continue to do this against other teams.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
We should talk about that. That's the big thing.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see patterns of play that we can replicate because we don't have, and we can't be afforded that amount of space. Usually, we are not the team that will just sit back like that. We did play a pretty high mid block against them initially, and they were actually countering against us early on. And yeah, I mean, it's just like for us to be able to do this against maybe the teams around us, it's just really not plausible most of the time, unless they are a team that's really loves playing with the ball. In which case, if they're around us, normally they're not. They're not a team that is particularly maybe that adept, with their technical abilities. So that's kind of the main part of it for LA United, is that we don't have the technical talents to play the ball that we want to, and we have to essentially resort to Route 1 in order to be dangerous, to be a threat, to essentially not look like a team that cannot score any type of goal. I mean, we largely can't in terms of from sustained possession, from breaking down a low block. There's not been many this season that we've been able to do that, but yeah. So let's wrap a bow on this match. We've gone far too long. I think we need to get into the news. And so yes, unfortunately the standings don't look good, even with that 1 point against Inter Miami, because we have been leapfrogged by Philadelphia, who now are sitting in the 9th spot. DC United still above us. We are in 11th. And, Nashville, who was sitting bottom, now are right on our heels. And they're at 12th. So, it's definitely, it's helter-skelter in the business end of the season. And it's tight. It's very, very tight. But next bit of news, Pedro Amador, he makes the starting 11 for the MLS team of the match day. As well as Alexey Miranchuk, who makes the bench. But, congratulations to Amador. He well-deserved. I mean, defensive stops, assist.
Absolutely, yeah. And, and the fact that him and Stan didn't make it onto that sheet, but, credit to both of them for taking, visible knocks the early, the previous game, and coming on to this game with bandages on, and soldiering through. And the fact that Amador even came into this, was here, I still think is astounding. The guy probably looked like he got his his clock cleaned, and he's still I'm all right, I'll come back. And I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, an absolute warrior. Speaking about like you were saying earlier about playing for the badge, these two guys, the Bandage Bros, were definitely playing for the club badge. But and Alexey Miranchuk's golazo, it was up for the MLS goal of the match day. Unfortunately, there was another player in the league that scored from the halfway line. So yeah, you can't win them all like that. Especially when people that vote love these type of bangers. Not the team goals. They love the goals that are scored from distance, and it's kind of annoying. It's because some of these goals that are just absolute quality, or there's a really great assist ahead of that. It just it doesn't get the love that they deserve. But Alexey Miranchuk, he speaking of love that they deserve, well, one of his favorite rappers, because he did mention, kind of maybe tongue-in-cheek, but why he came to Atlanta was for his love of hip-hop as well, Atlanta hip-hop specifically, and Offset of Migos. He hit the golden spike, whether that was on purpose, maybe to motivate Miranchuk or not, who knows. But they didn't get to meet, unfortunately. That saddens me a bit. But there was a Miranchuk kit that Offset was able to get, and so Miranchuk was able to post that on social media, and a bit of that, it does make me sad, I think. But one thing that doesn't make me sad is Offset. I think he was wearing a Deftones hoodie, and man, I love that band, and I have no idea how or why he was rocking that. And maybe he really does love that band, but man, my respect level just went up for Offset. But yeah, so that happened. Yeah, please cut in, Michael, if you have any thoughts on any of this. But
no,
yeah,
not particularly. I am happy that he got his goal to get his confidence going. You know, Saba, and when he was talked to after the game by Joe Hofstetter. What is his?
Joe Highproffer. Yep.
Joe. Yeah. That doesn't sound right, but okay, Joe, whatever. You know, I forget. Yep. Sorry, Joe. Anyway, like when he was talking to Saba, he said that, you know, Miranchuk needed it. He needed this goal, and you know, we could tell in previous games he was seeking it. He takes those long shots, a minimum like twice a game so far, and hoping for something there, and he got it this time. So I think that does wonders for probably for his confidence, and for the team. So, you know, just seeing players happy is getting results. I mean, that's gonna hopefully be something that they can take into the next game. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yep. As well, Tata Martino and Brad Guzan, they had a moment that Felipe Cardenas was able to video, you know, kind of in the kind of hallways of the stadium. And, yeah, it was definitely, you know, really kind of heartwarming. It was like Guzan had his baby girl on his shoulder. And, yeah, it seemed like a nice, you know, kind of heartwarming type of moment where they were able to catch up a little bit. But yep, so last bit of news is LA 2, they played Crown Legacy FC to a scoreless draw on Wednesday night. That was away, and they unfortunately lost a shootout as well. But yeah, unfortunately with that result, or lack of a result, they have been eliminated from the MLS Next Pro playoff contention, and their next match will be against, as well, Inter Miami CF2. So, yeah. So that does it for the news.
One more thing about Felipe. There is also another tweet from him saying that he bumped into Garth at the game, asked about the coaching search, and he said he is in the midst of it. And you know, so that's I guess, you know, an update on that.
Yeah, as much of an update as there is, I guess. It's like, yeah, we're working on it. We'll let you know, which usually means, okay, yep, you know, nothing doing. But,
yeah.
But
we're talking to a lot of candidates.
Right, so. And hopefully they are. Hopefully that is not a lie, because it would be upsetting if it were not the case. But yeah, so that gets us to the match preview, and 7:30 on Saturday at Red Bull Arena. It will be 11th place LA United versus 5th place New York Red Bulls. Yeah, they last played to a 2-1 loss against the Chicago Fire. We last played New York Red Bulls to a 4-0 loss, unfortunately. So, yeah, not exactly really good reading there. But in our last 6, we've won 1, we've drawn 2, they've won 3. So, you know, it goes for, yeah, kind of like what you expect. We're 2-10-4 against the New York Red Bulls in our lifetime. And, you know, of course, one of those wins was in the playoffs at the Benz some time ago. But, yeah, New York Red Bulls, they started the season strong. They accumulated a lot of points during some several winning streaks. But kind of a slight dip in their play as of late. They haven't won since the Leagues Cup break. So, definitely, you know, it's
and they lost to Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Which you know, that's, if they lose to us, I mean, it'll be also like, oh, they lost to Atlanta. So it's like that right now. But because they're winless in their last 4 games. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're a team that obviously they added some really strong pieces in the offseason. Emil Forsberg, Dennis Genhar, Noah Ellie, or Isle rather. They lost Tom Barlow, Luquinhas, Omir Fernandez in the offseason. But, you know, Forsberg has been a force for them. And, yeah, I mean, they're definitely overperforming still what every pundit had them finishing in. They had them finishing as low as 11th, or no, 14th for some people. That's Sammy Sadovnik, but you know, as high as 6th, and that's Bradley Wright Phillips. So you know, that's a homer pick there. But even that is doing better than what they were predicted. So yeah, you know, Sandro Schwarz, he's doing a fantastic job for them as their head coach, and getting them to kind of, you know, their best form in some time. But
and yet,
you know,
they still won't win a cup. It's terrible.
Yeah, you know, it's that's probably what's gonna happen. But yeah, they're a team that, you know, I think it's what you expect. They're a good counterattacking team. They're a team that once they get the lead, they're pretty strong at keeping it. They're really strong in aerial duels and free kicks as well. You know, they're a danger. But you know, definitely a team that, yeah, you can get at by, you know, some of the aspects that they're kind of known for, where, yes, you know, if you are clinical against them, they are not that clinical, unfortunately, or fortunately for us. They don't try to keep the ball. It's pretty much going to be, again, two teams that are not trying to play with the ball. And, you know, we might be just kind of de facto keeping the ball more than they are just because we feel like, you know, we can. But is it the best strategy? I don't think so. We should be, you know, kind of playing how we kind of did at their house in the 2018 playoffs. Lumping it long, clear the danger, just pretty much don't let their press do the work and give them silly chances that, yeah.
Do not play out the back against this team, for the love of God.
I mean, I would prefer it maybe outside of the box, but inside the box, no. Like, we ain't doing that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to play with center backs flanking both sides of Guzan. Nah. Like, if Guzan maybe wants to step out outside of the box, possibly, but yeah, nothing that close to goal for me anyway. But yeah, into the match facts. Red Bulls, they've kept a clean sheet in 6 of their last 7 home matches against LA United in all competitions, and the Red Bulls have also won 5 of the last 6 home matches against LA United in all competitions. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, this is the toughest assignment that we will have this season, because this is a team that we just cannot crack the nut. And it is what it is, but they do have a lot of injuries. So Roald Mitchell, Emil Forsberg, Wickelman, Carmona, Kyle Duncan, Sean Nealis, either all out or questionable. So, you know, definitely 5 guys that are pretty
Emil out?
Yeah, Emil Forsberg is out with a foot injury.
Whew.
So I
Their
know.
biggest guy.
Exactly. So, you know, for us, Ronald Hernandez absolutely out. Shawnee Silva is out, and Quentin Westberg as well. So, you know, we're able to kind of muster up some sort of attack without Silva. So, I think you know, it's not the worst thing at the moment, but it gets us into our predicted starting 11. And so, yeah, getting into that, Guzan, obviously, between the sticks. Are you going to stick with the same back 4, or are you going to change anything?
Yeah, I think so. As long as there's no issues with them, yeah, I think so. They earned it. I don't like that they let 2 goals in, but I don't really blame them that much for those goals. So I'm okay. I thought that they had a pretty good showing regardless of the goals.
Right. So yeah, I think, yeah, it's gonna be the same. We will need to spell somebody a little bit. You know, so maybe Amador. Maybe you see Abram come in a little bit. You know, and maybe with Lennon Although I think he might be able to kind of last the full 90. He usually is able to, so he can probably empty the tank. But yeah, into midfield. I think this is probably going to be the most interesting. I think there was rotation in the midweek because of that kind of, you know, minutes management a bit. But who would you have in midfield?
I would have Fortune and Sleesh in this game to start.
And I mean, you know, it might be the same where we might have to play 3 midfielders. So, you know, with you know, Silva being out, like, are you going to play another midfielder, or are you going to play Miranchuk in the you know, in the hole?
Probably Miranchuk in the hole, what I would say.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think it's got to be a little bit of that too. I think it's Sleesh and Fortune as the 2 in midfield. Miranchuk at the number 10 position, and then yeah, you know, you have a number of guys that you could choose on the left wing, which who knows if they're ever going to be chosen. I think it's probably you know, obviously Saba on one wing. It's probably going to be Tyler Wolf on the other. But you know, you could choose. Yeah.
I think that's what I think that's what you and I had said for last time too. Was Tyler Wolf.
And it didn't happen,
So,
but you know,
yeah.
I'm okay that it didn't happen. But it is also, you know, for the 3rd straight game, you know, 3 games in 7 weeks, or 7 days rather. It is, yeah. I think we need to rotate probably, and you know, one person. I think Wolf, you know, kind of gives the energy from the start, where he is, I think, defensively enough, going to be able to be stout. But you know, you could start. As well, Mascara, but maybe you want that energy off the bench. You could also start Luke Brennan, but
I mean, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
This will be interesting to see. You could run a little test here to be like, it was, you know, was that Rob's strategy last game to put in these kind of speedsters at the end? And if that is indeed the modus operandi, perhaps he does it again, and so then he would start someone like Tyler, start someone like Rios, and then bring on Mascara and Tiare.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think it's a little bit more, you know, yes, I think if we can keep the ball later on in the match, you know, kind of where we can use the strength of Rios if we are up somehow by some magical hoodoo. Yes, then that would maybe be the case. But for me, yeah, I think Tiare starts up top on, you know, for this match to be able to kind of press them a little bit, you know. But it is one of these things where I can see Rio starting as well. But I just feel like we don't really need to hold up the ball. We don't really need to like, you know. I think just kind of allow this to become a back and forth, you know, kind of track meet almost in a sense, and it might actually kind of more play into our hands, because if we try to force New York Red Bulls to play with the ball, there we go. That's definitely the better strategy. But yeah, what do you think, Tiare, Rios?
I want Tiare for the reasons that you cited, but you know, it could, like you said, could be Rios if it's like the plan he went with Miami. But yeah, it's a different team playing in a different way. This is going to be a true test to see if we can adapt to fighting a style like this, because Miami was definitely not this. And if we can survive Red Bull's kind of early rush to get a goal early and to hold on to that, we might be able to, you know, do essentially what we did to Miami and come back late and score some goals and make them pay for not being clinical in the first half. If we can survive the early pressure from them, I think we have a chance. But it's a tall order. It's tough to do. We have a lot of good defensive pieces in Stan and Williams and Amador and Lennon at sometimes. So hopefully we can hold on. But it's tough to do. Very few teams have been able to do it against Red Bulls, you know, historically, and especially this season. So it's scary, man. And if we don't figure it out now, we got them again coming up. So we better figure it out.
Yeah, it is a kind of audition for the next match as well. So whoever can play well against the New York Red Bulls as well, it is going to be important. So that gets us to the score prediction. What do you got?
I want to say we learn something here and we have the momentum carried on from the last game, but it just, past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. And whenever we have kind of a seminal win against a big team, we go out later and kind of crap the bed afterwards. So it just seems to me that is likely what's going to happen, unfortunately. So I would imagine it could be like a 3-1 defeat to Red Bulls, and that would be my guess. I don't want that to be the case. I really wish we figure it out. At least hold them to a respectable draw. That would be kind of the ideal scenario for me. We could perhaps nick a goal, but it really, in my estimation, it's as if our defense can do enough to make it so Red Bull has to play above and beyond their normal and be more clinical than they normally are in order to get a goal. And hopefully they're just not that clinical that day.
Yeah, I don't see that many goals, unfortunately, in this. And 3-1, man, that hopefully I am crossing all fingers, toes that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think it's a 1-1 draw. I think with as many players as they have out and in their form, I think we can at least not lose at their house, and that unfortunately is a step in the right direction. So back-to-back draws, not fantastic, but we'll take the points, or a point right now, and move forward. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But guys, that is pretty much the episode there and there, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, do you think what we did against Miami was repeatable, was replicable? Let us know in the comments below. Yeah, looking forward to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode. For Michael, I am AJ. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.